Welcome to the August 20th episode of Den Excelsior, the Mostly Marvel podcast. As you probably gathered from the name, discussing the latest Marvel happenings across all media is what we do. And we've also been known to stray off topic from time to time. Basically, if it's super powered, it's fair game. My name is Dennis, and I could do this all day. With me, as always, is a distinguished gathering of nerds. First up, he's had an experience described as fun adjacent this week playing the new Black Panther expansion for Avengers. It's Frank.
Where am I? There I am.
There's
that
Frank.
Is 100% fun adjacent. Like, actually, I'm having almost fun just playing it on my own, actually.
Oh, you've been playing it on your own?
Yeah, I've gotten through most of the story now, having almost fun. Yeah.
I haven't played it again since I played with you. And
playing as Black Panther is really fun. I want to play with the whole pride of Black Panthers. That'd be great.
It's not that I have a problem with Black Panther's gameplay or anything like that. It's just like I don't see a lot of improvement in that game. You know what I mean? Like it's so I will finish his story and it'll be fun, but I don't want to grind out another character all the way. Like I'm not there. So we'll see.
Right with you.
Anyways, we got more people to bring in here. He's gonna burst at the seams, holding back Shang-Chi spoilers tonight. It's Ricky.
It's me.
That's a way to introduce yourself for sure.
Side note, it just came out. So Fire Spray is the name of the ship or the class of ship, but not the name of the ship itself.
Oh, okay.
So, oh my god, we're talking about Star Wars right now on the Mostly Marvel podcast.
Yeah,
I guess that's why it's mostly Marvel.
Check the mostly part of it.
Yeah, there you go. Cool. In case anybody out there was wondering if we bunch of nerds are angry about the name change, to a certain extent, I guess we are because we're talking about it.
All right.
All right, we have a special guest today. Also, I set you up. It's so funny, Ricky. I set you up about the Shang-Chi thing, and then you're like, dude, the name of Boba Fett's ship, and it's like,
I mean, there's one thing that I can talk about, and there's another thing that I can talk about and maybe get sued. So
okay, well let's do the sued one on your Twitter.
Okay.
Anyways, let me introduce our special guest. This one's I'm so happy about this because this special guest, he prepared something for me to read for you.
Oh my god!
Here it goes. Though not actually certified, he considers himself a professional rubbist of puppy, kitty, and various other fuzzy butts. It's Jason Coker.
I mean, that's just facts. That's what I do. I mean, if you got a puppy or a kitty cat and it has a butt, I'm rubbing it. I can't be stopped.
Wait, it said, and various other fuzzy butts.
They're the most common fuzzy pets, but I would rub a parrot butt.
So now it's a pet thing.
Rubbis sounds like a website that you find.
I'm just saying, my butt is somewhat fuzzy.
Those flyers in Vegas that are all over the floor.
We can talk later, Dennis. We can talk later.
He got tossed in Disneyland jail for rubbing Chewbacca. I saw it.
Oh man,
I was there.
Hey, before we jump into things, I would just like to point out, whether it's acknowledged as fact or not, less than 24 hours ago, I heard Ricky singing "Love in This Club" by Usher, and it was beautiful. It was everything I'd hoped for and more.
It's true.
I did say that yesterday. Wow.
I sang Evanescence too.
Yep. I mean, both just stunning renditions.
It's almost like we should take the recordings of those and do something with it.
Burn them, maybe? I don't know. Just put it out there.
No, but Coke is referring to a D&D game that we do weekly on Thursday nights. I do record it, but I haven't had the balls to actually embarrass us to that degree. So it exists just in my private vault so that I can do whatever I want.
It's
with
your blackmail fodder for all of us.
Yes, it
Oh,
is.
yeah.
It is.
Wait, speaking of embarrassing you, thank you guys for having me for real, and I'll do my best not to embarrass you this evening.
So like Tom Hanks's bosom buddies, how he bought, like word is he bought them all, and he's got them all locked up in his apartment. Or I don't know why I assume Tom Hanks lives in an apartment, but
Wait,
I don't
you said
think he
Tom
does.
Cruise and Tom Hanks?
no, Tom Hanks.
Okay.
Bosom. Did you ever watch Bosom Buddies, Ricky?
What's
Oh,
bosom
classic.
buddies?
Oh man,
He's not gonna know what bosom buddies
And
is.
who was it? Peter Scolari? Was the other?
Yeah,
Yes,
Peter Scolari,
it was
yeah.
Peter
Yeah.
Scolari.
Yeah.
Great
That's-
show.
All right, so we've dated ourselves for the audience quite well right
Oh
now.
man.
Oh, I'm old as dirt. Yes, sir.
But Coke, we are all very happy to have you back. It's always fun. I know the first time we ever had you on the show, you were like, "But I don't know like Marvel that well," and I'm like, "Dude, I don't care. We just want you to be on here, so it's fun, you know." Like, and we also like having somebody that we can like look cool in front of by like knowing stuff and explain stuff to you. 'Cause,
I
you know,
understand. I'm happy to.
especially
We can
when the
safely
comments-
mansplain things to Coke.
What,
yes. When the comments get quiet, we're like, well, at least we got Coke here to explain stuff to you.
what,
so.
what a gross and incorrect use of cool. Like what a
Well, hey, I gotta say, at risk of sounding sappy, I do enjoy hanging with you guys. But full disclosure, one thing that I've come to accept since that first appearance on your show is that I don't really know much about anything. So here I am. Let's get it.
you knew Peter Scolari, like
I know, right? He's like,
I know that
he
thing.
name drops Peter Scolari, and then he's like, I don't know crap.
you're already one step ahead of Ricky on that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, respect.
Well, let me get some business out of the way really quick before we continue discussing. We have a fun show planned. I think I say that every week, but I think this one's fun. Yeah, for sure. We're thrilled to talk about episode 2 of What If. I know that's like what we marketed this episode as, and we are those kind of jerks. So we do other stuff before that. So we've got some news and rumors to discuss, and then after that, we'll go straight into What If. It'll be a little while, but thank you for your patience if you're here with us. As a reminder, this is also a chance for you, the audience, to pick our brains with any marvelous trivia or points of confusion that you may have, or Coker as well. You can do that too. We'll be checking the comments throughout the show. And for those who can't get enough of us, I mean, in the first 1.5 hours here, you can visit patreon.com/GenXmedia immediately after this broadcast ends for our live post show, The Soapbox, where we just talk about whatever.
Talk about
And, like,
stuff.
sometimes it's like, oh man, I missed stuff. And like, I'm like, wasn't this good? And it's like, no, it was definitely my B material or my C material. So I'm more often than not, I don't give you the A material in the soapbox, but you guys give me your A material. So it's it's a trade-off.
That's fair.
Yeah. So anything before we jump right into the news, is there anything fun that you guys wanted to talk about that's not news related? You can talk about Marvel. You can talk about not Marvel. Whatever cool stuff you got going on.
Not Marvel's on the table. Nice.
Yeah.
The hustler stuff, right? Not Marvel.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I saw a good X-Men one. They actually the X-Men had already gone into the Marvel universe in the XXX world.
Wait, hold up. Is that are you being frank or are you actually being serious?
Oh, that's always the question, isn't it?
Wait, is there a triple X Marvel universe?
Oh my.
Yeah, but they're not as consistent as the real Marvel universe, and that's my problem with it. Because sometimes
they always finish though.
They do always finish, yeah.
So
You're gonna make me search things, and I'm gonna end up with a virus.
Sometimes
That's all
Dale DeBone plays.
your new computer's
Tony
about to
Stark,
get jacked up.
he doesn't. I don't know. It's weird, man. They need
Yeah.
more consistency, and Nick Fury is always different.
I have so many things I'm not gonna say right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my.
I'm not sure why. I mean, we might offend, a handful of the people that are watching.
That'll be part of the watch,
which is a
party
handful of
for
people.
Fox.
Oh my god!
I'll bring out JLA XXX.
All right, Frank's done. Coker, do you have anything fun to share?
Oh, it's not fun, and it's totally not Marvel related at all. It's just nerd stuff. Call of Duty League Championship is this weekend, and my squad, the Seattle Surge, are not in it because they have not had a good year. And I found out today, they announced today that they have dropped the entire team and the coaching staff, and that just breaks my heart. So I'm interested in seeing what the future of the Surge will be, but that was a very shocking move to me. And now back to cool stuff.
Didn't a new Call of Duty get announced like yesterday?
Wow.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
He just jumped right over there. Okay.
Yeah, big reveal yesterday.
Stay tuned for Call of Duty news on the soapbox. Coker will be giving out codes.
No, don't commit him to that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Coker will not be doing that. Wink. Wink. Anyways, what anything else, Ricky? I know we kind of touched on it briefly, but you managed to snag tickets to one of those early IMAX screenings of Shang-Chi this week.
I did. I was very fortunate enough to go watch the entirety of Shang-Chi in IMAX in I think the Spectrum in Irvine.
One of my favorite
And
theaters.
it's one we saw Infinity War there.
And Endgame.
And Endgame. Did we see him there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
That's cool.
I remember driving up from San Diego to that theater to see Interstellar, because it's from my understanding it's the only true properly scaled IMAX in like Southern California, aside from the one at Universal Studios. But anyways, Shang-Chi, can't really say much, I guess. The review part goes on Monday, but I enjoyed
you're
it.
allowed to say if you liked it or not.
It's definitely, I think I put it in the top third of Marvel movies. So would that be top 8 if there's 25 of them now?
Top 8.
It's a lot of fun. Simu Liu is charming as hell. Awkwafina plays Awkwafina, which I enjoyed very much. And
you told me last week that you've been watching Kim's Convenience. Were you watching it to get like ready for this movie? Yeah,
I was watching it to get ready for this movie
because he's charming as hell in that show. Too.
He's charming as hell in that movie or in that show, and he also gets progressively more buff in that show for this movie.
He does.
No, but it's fun. If I had to put it to if I had to tee it up to another Marvel movie, I think it's very close into Black Panther and how they kind of set that up. So I'd be curious to see how Frank likes Shang-Chi.
Under the bus.
Cold out.
Tossed.
Because the beats are there's a lot of similarities in the beats, but it was my favorite Marvel movie of this year so far. Let's say that.
That's a low bar.
It's a really low bar. Really, really low bar. I don't mean to. I don't mean to hate on Black Widow, but I'm not loving Black Widow. Sea Cow Soda. Now she's gonna ask the real dirt. Did the rings look cool?
Yes, the way the rings work as a weapon is probably one of the coolest weapons in the MCU. Just how they function and the way they're like a whip kind of. It's probably some of the coolest.
Can you
weapons.
Can you lay it all out for us, just in detail?
No, don't do that.
If you come to our soapbox later,
Pyro on Twitch. Thanks for joining us. As a reminder, we're streaming on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live right now. So we've got fans from everywhere coming to say hi. Cool. Let's keep Ricky from talking a little bit or too much about that.
Oh man,
it's gonna get weird.
we had a photo pulled up from the premiere. This is the show part we're talking, but
yeah,
before I was gonna pull it up, I realized there was actually probably a few spoilers in that photo.
Oh wow.
Everything's redacted now. It's all
we can just show it really quick, but we'll do it on. Let's do it on the news. Let's officially
kick it to the news.
Let's do it.
So Shang-Chi actually premiered on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, or Monday. Red carpet premiere on Monday. Hollywood. And some little Disney controversy going on. This movie is obviously coming out in very different circumstances than I think anybody had anticipated.
We're not doing that news bit, right?
Remember. So
There's no controversy at all.
No
it's
controversy.
A great movie. Enjoy it however you want. I myself am going to watch it at the drive-in.
It's 2 N's in Den X Media. No, wait, 1 N in Den X Media for the check, Feige. So if you're hearing this, it's only 1 N, Den X.
Invite us to more premieres.
The news, as a reminder, we gathered a bunch of news earlier today, and then we curated it down because we don't want to be talking about news all day, and we don't pretend to be the ultimate news source on anything. So we just picked some that we liked. So Ricky was going to bring up a news item, but we decided, it's okay because it's really just a bunch of misunderstandings between Disney management and Simu Liu and stuff. So whatever, they're fine. He's happy now because his movie's out.
Yeah.
So there you go.
You're gonna be a star, kid.
He's gonna be a star. Make no mistake, that's happening regardless of whether or not people like the movie. You know what I mean? He's a star now, so it's cool.
Yeah, regardless of if the movie's good or not. Also, like he's gonna be a star.
Wait, I thought that's what I said.
No. You said if the movie's successful, right?
Oh, did I?
Are you equating success and being good?
I'm saying it's 2 different things.
I thought I said good, but I don't care. I don't really care.
Well, you know what's good? Coke's news of the week.
Okay.
Oh, snap.
Anthony Mackie, and not a shocker to anyone, seals a deal to star as Captain America in Cap 4.
What I think. I was gonna say what I think is funny about this one is didn't the writer say Captain America 4 was happening a few months ago?
I think they said Captain America 4 was happening.
Yeah,
with Anthony Mackie, but
should they not have should they maybe not have said that until they actually signed the papers for
Anthony
Mackie?
Imagine if he said, "No, I'm good," and then we have the whole Don Cheadle situation again.
Let's get Terrence Howard.
Oh man,
bring Michael B. Jordan back.
This wasn't much in the way of news, but it was good. No, I personally have just appreciated the fact that a black character is given the shield. That's cool, and to hear that they're going ahead with another film with him as Captain America is pretty big deal to me. I mean, I have a lot of probably sappy feelings around stuff like this, but I went to see the Force Awakens trailer with my daughters, and the very first thing you ever saw in that trailer was a black stormtrooper, and that. It was powerful to me. It may not have meant anything to other people, but it was big. And to see Marvel embrace a black Captain America is very, very special. I love it.
I do remember how much you gushed over that. I do remember that.
Would it be wrong to call Anthony Mackie a working actor? He puts in some work in some shows and some movies. So it's really nice to see him get his dues in a solo Captain America film.
Yeah, I mean, he earned it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The show was really fun. It was cool, but the way it ends, you want more because one, Sharon was kind of lame, right? It was a lame plot twist, is what it was.
He needs a cool person to fight.
So I want to see. Yeah, I want to see him. Plus Zemo blew up everybody, so it's come on, man. Let's get Sam actually with some cool villains. Let's maybe bring back the Red Skull or his daughter or something like that. I want to see some cool Cap villains. Yeah. Congrats. I know you're watching. You're one of those people watching us, Anthony Mackie. Congrats, man.
Heck yeah.
Love you, Mackie. How's it going, man?
Man.
Also in the MCU verse. Oh my god. We had a new Eternals trailer drop.
Final frontier. Estas son los viajes de la Starship Enterprise.
Why'd you say oh my god? Were the graphics too good for you, Ricky?
I had the slides are not matching up with what I had queued up.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
She said she was filming on location a lot, so that must have been tough to get that mudslide to happen into the ocean or Earth. That must have been pretty tough.
Yeah, there was an Eternals trailer, and Ricky, you're playing another one right now.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. The Eternals trailer.
Kit Kats. Man, I can go for a Kit Kat right now. Hey, it's Mad Max now.
There is a good question here in the audience, and I'm going to put it up here. C. Cow Soto is asking, which trailer did everyone like better, 1 or 2? I know Marvel has this formula that they do, right? Where the first trailer is always the talky one.
Mm-hmm.
It's always just showing the people, the character interactions, and you're like, oh look, okay, maybe I'm interested in that character.
Oh shit, they got Angelina Jolie.
And then the second one is always the action, right? So
yeah. You see a villain.
Yeah, you see the villain and you see the things they're gonna fight and stuff, and it's it's pretty damn consistent. What's your answer to her question?
The second one. We see there's more power usage in the second one, and that's all I wanted.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, but I gotta say, I've been a fan of the dude for a long time, and even though there were pictures released of the swollenness several months ago, I'm just not ready for buff Kumail Nanjiani. I'm just not ready for that. He's not that dude, and it's still weird to me to see him swole up like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's Pyro like the second one as well. What about you, Frank? What do you think?
I like the second one a little better, slightly, but usually when they do the second one, you get a kind of idea who the bad guy is, and like I know everyone's assuming that it's going to be
Crow,
the guy's name, the King of the North, right? Rob Stark.
Oh.
I think everyone's assuming it's going to be Rob Stark, so I'm not sure if that's where they're going to go with it or not.
I didn't assume that.
But usually it's clear. Usually it's clear who the bad guy is, and I guess
I thought they showed the bad guy in the
deviants, right?
Well, it's
the Crow, yeah, the main deviant, yeah,
that guy, yeah, that one.
That's Crow from freaking Mystery Science Theater.
No, that's not.
And he's grown so much since.
Yeah. I think I'm in the minority on this one. I got to say honestly, I think I liked the first trailer better because I was still hopeful after that one.
No.
Oh, wow.
Do you know what I mean? Like those deviants kind of look generic. Like they look really generic. I'm not really excited. I'm not really excited. No, Shazam had really cool looking enemies. Like the what is it? The 7 Deadly Sins. They were amazing looking. These just look like, My Little Pony gone wrong or whatever. I don't know. Like some of the creatures just look just so. It's almost like generic in the way that, like, how Transformers fans from the 80s, when they finally saw the Transformers that Michael Bay made, were like,
I mean, they earn the benefit of the doubt, though, right? When it comes to this type of thing.
Well,
shit.
I mean, I mean, like, I want to believe that Frank's right and that there's a villain that's better than the one that they showed me in that movie.
A question for all you guys then. Are you more excited for Shang-Chi or for the Internals? I feel like if you throw Spider-Man, Spider-Man beats out all three. But
yeah,
Spider-Man beats all. But yeah, the Deviants just this is
corrupted gems. That's awesome.
The Deviants actually reminded C. Cow Soda of corrupted gems from Steven Universe.
Yeah,
that's not wrong. Like I really do see it. Except I thought the corrupted gems from Steven Universe have more character to them.
They also look
yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a nice balance though in terms of the year. We get 2 movies on stuff that we know and love, and 2 new slices of pie to try and see if we want to make $1 billion franchise out of them.
Well, I mean, do we really know and love Shang-Chi? I think he's.
Well, no, he's the new
through his charm.
The new slice of pie.
I see. And the Eternals too. Oh, the Eternals aren't this year, right? Or
they are.
They are.
They're this November.
The 2 that we love are Spider-Man and Black Widow.
They're in 3 months, man.
Oh man, I've been zoning out.
Yes.
We go into autopilot.
Yeah. But on the plus side, I mean, did you finish showing off all the little highlights of that trailer, Ricky? I don't know.
I did.
You did? Well, on the plus side, and I tried to make Frank happy. Like, I honestly thought this was going to be a week where I didn't have to talk about toys, and we were all like, "Cool, we're not talking about toys." And dude, at like 5 o'clock today, Yahoo Yahoo premiered their 8-bit pictures of freaking the entire Eternals Marvel Legends line. I don't know why their pictures are so like pixely, but these are what we got. And so like, yeah, they're basically
these things have been leaked for like years.
They have been. That's what I'm saying. They've been leaked since like April.
Some of these toys were sitting in a Toys R Us at some point.
I definitely saw like posts from the Philippines that like they were already hitting stores and stuff. But you know, I think they definitely look like the characters that we saw in the trailers for sure. Like I'm super excited to have a Camille Nanjiani toy, and I'll pop that head off and just put it on a regular body, and then you just hanging out. Yeah,
these guys are not going to have any movement in the legs.
It depends on what plastic is in there, you know.
Did you ever have those Kenner Star Wars Han Solo toys? The ones that have like one leg was like standing weird. They're like standing like that basically, but he's like standing with like a swagger.
Oh yeah, I know.
You could never make that guy stand up straight.
Yeah, you're talking about like the power of the Force figures, right?
Pre-posed.
Yeah, and then the Gilgamesh they squeezed in. He's the Build-A-Figure, and then you know, I don't remember all the names of all these characters, but it's all the actors that we saw in the trailer. And then as a bonus, I think there's going to be a couple more deluxe figures outside of the wave. So there's going to be one of Salma Hayek. There's going to be one of Angelina Jolie. And then there's going to be one of, there he is, the villain.
There it is, Tom Servo.
I think he's the villain, but it's Crow, K-R-O. Super excited. I mean, this guy screams Malekith, Caecilius.
Yep.
Whoever the bad guy was in Ant-Man 2, but like, take all of them, mash them up, and make them horrible, like generic CG.
Walter Goggins, what's his name?
Yeah, Walton Goggins. But
Walton Goggins?
Yeah, exactly.
Sunny Briggs?
Sunny
Birch?
Sunny
something?
But see, that's my point. Like, I don't like, I'm like, yes, the Eternals are gonna fight Crow. I don't care. Like, I don't.
Shang-Chi, one of the better.
They're going to fight Mike or Joel. I always liked Joel better. I thought he was fun.
Tom Servo, buddy. Tom
Servo.
I am not familiar with that Crow character. I don't know the Eternals at all. Yeah. But that figure looked like the bastard offspring of one of the creatures from Alien and Groot.
Yeah.
That was very weird.
It was like Cloverfield Bank Groot.
Yeah. I will say fun fact for you, Coke. So like the Eternals, I mean, they'll explain it. They kind of did in the trailer, but like the Eternals were created by that big giant thing that we saw, you know, earlier, like or in the trailer. It's a big giant celestial. That celestial is presumably related to the head that is nowhere in the Guardians movies. You know what I mean? That is the head of a dead celestial. And then we've also in the beginning of Guardians, remember Peter Quill actually when he rewinds the augmented reality to see the planet that he's on how it got destroyed. There's a celestial there too. So they've been kind of drip feeding celestials to us throughout the movies and stuff. But yeah, the Eternals, the Deviants, and the humans are all like different degrees of experimentation that was done by
Marvel's Prometheus.
Kinda
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Except
basically except good. So, or 2001: A Space Odyssey would be the other way to do it.
Oh yeah, that's the better one, actually.
Yeah, the way better one. But yeah, the Celestials came to Earth. They saw these, proto man, and they said, "I'm gonna tinker with you, but I'm also gonna make some offshoots that are way crazier." So, they made these other ones, the Eternals, that actually can live forever, hence the name, but they can never have children with each other. And then they made the Deviants, which are all just like crazy, like, wild, chaotic animal creatures. And I don't think they can reproduce either. But weird byproduct.
Frustrated creatures fighting each other.
Yeah, but weird byproduct is somehow they found out, probably through sexual frustration, that while they can't reproduce within their own species, they can with the others. So Eternals can mate and make, eternal human babies, and they can also make eternal deviant babies.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that makes sense. I'm an Eternal, and my wife and I have kids, so that's clearly the case.
Well, fun fact that I was leading up to, you do know we have met a child of an Eternal and a Deviant in the Marvel Universe already. Do you want to
Quill?
take a guess?
No. Wait. Yeah, Quill?
No.
No idea.
Thanos.
Really? So they make ugly children. Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I thought a lot of people thought Thanos was pretty hot.
Eye of the beholder, right? Like,
yeah. So
I'll give him credit for a sexy voice. He had a great voice, but not a handsome fella.
Yeah. So the thing a lot of people are wondering is if Thanos will make us an appearance in the movie as like a flashback kind of thing or something. You know what I mean? Like to show that
baby Thanos.
Yeah, a baby Thanos could be in the works. Who knows? But yes, I'm assuming Frank knew that about Thanos.
Yeah, you just got to talk to him. You just talk to him and just talk him off his anger.
Yeah. Speaking of universe ending entities, how's our boy Galactus doing, Dennis?
He actually. So the cool thing is, Hasbro's been doing the rounds. They haven't gotten around to me yet, but they've been going and visiting a lot of different toy collecting influencers on YouTube and stuff. And so they've been doing guest interviews with each of them to try and help it's kind of like the road show they're doing, right? But online to kind of promote this thing. And so there's been a lot of positive movement happening over the last week. They've been on a lot of different YouTube videos. But yeah, we're up to like over 12,500 backers as of this morning. We got 10 days left to go. And, they only have to hit 1,400 or 14,000, sorry. And I can, as far as I remember, every single Kickstarter I've ever seen, there's like a giant influx of people at the end because of FOMO, right? Like that's generally a thing. FOMO usually leads people to just like, I don't want to miss it, and then they just buy it. So
you think a Nova is going to happen, or
it looks
like it's going to get funded?
That's hard. I think it'll get funded by next Monday, or 10 days from now. So like next Monday. But I just don't know. I don't know. Oh,
Marvel.
Are they offering that Chitara toy for ordering it?
That's not Chitara. That's Nova.
Oh, sorry. That's
Frank. It's Frankie Ray. It's Frankie Ray.
All right, perfect.
They are offering her if they sell 16,000 units.
16,000 units? She's a stretch goal?
She's the first stretch goal, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Sea Cow Soda asked who's given the coolest interview so far that people should check out. There's been a couple cool ones. I like Boog ACBA because he actually asks hard-hitting questions and makes them get stumped a little bit.
He ain't getting no toy.
Shardimus Prime has some good relation with them, and then what is it? It's Toying Around. That was a really good one. I thought that was the most interesting one because like that guy, whether he forgot or not, he was so excited to have them there. He just never brought up the Galactus thing at all during the entire interview, and I'm like, wow. I don't know if that was like a flex or you just were off script or what, but like interesting. Yeah.
Hasbro, if you're listening, we will gladly sell one of our seats on this show for you.
Just one seat. Yes. We like to keep 4 people here. So yeah.
They're watching with Anthony Mackie right now, actually.
Yeah. Tickets to the premiere and a Galactus.
I hope they're wearing masks if they're hanging out together right now. Like, it's just safe, just do it.
All right.
Should we do the comics for the week before we switch over?
Let's do it.
Frank, what was the best one on there?
Kang the Conqueror, I would say. That's the one that appealed to me the most, I think.
Nice.
I'm a sucker for the number ones because anytime they reboot a number one after a character has been introduced in the movies, they always make it more like the character that they introduced in the movies.
Yeah.
A little palate cleanser.
Coke, I got a question on that since Frank just brought it up before we move on to the actual thing. What did you think about the end of Loki?
It was alright. It was alright. I mean, didn't love it, didn't hate it. Was hoping for more, different, better. I don't know what. It just wasn't really what I wanted it to be. But I can't tell you what I wanted it to be. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah. No, I feel you completely. Yeah. I just wanted it to have more closure for Loki and Sylvie, but instead it went in a kind of a left turn situation and just like, did a whole episode about He Who Remains, and then
I mean, he got a season 2.
Yeah, but then at the very end they're like, multiverse, go watch What If, and as bitter as I was at that ending, I am so far really happy with What If. So, I think I'm trying to look at the positive. Yeah.
Why can you tell us what you would have wanted, Coke? Is it just because you don't know, or?
Yeah, I mean, more closure would have been good, like Dennis said, but I couldn't sit and tell you, well, I wish they had done this. It's just the way it ended was kind of like, I wish it was something else. I don't know what, but that wasn't it.
I mean, in
like
hindsight,
a hollow kind of ending.
All the COVID delays that affected the MCU, they really had a lot riding on Loki in terms of timing, getting other stuff out. Like I'd be curious to see if that was always the plan, to have them stuff set in that specific order, or they reworked narratives to make it work work with the situation at hand.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you asked that about Black Widow also, and from everything that Feige said at the premiere, like, this has just been in the can for that long. They were done with it.
They were done for a while.
Yeah, but they didn't go and tweak things or anything like that. They just left it as is. So I don't know. I kind of feel like, Loki finished wrapping in like 2020. Sorry, they finished filming is what I meant to say.
He was rapping?
Yeah, they finished wrapping.
No.
Yeah. So I don't know. But I think the positive outcome so far is, we're gonna get, we're getting What If for 9 weeks. We're getting Spider-Man, and he's gonna jump into the multiverse. We're getting Doctor Strange, and he's gonna go even further with it. And then season 2 of Loki, and then there's already a season 2 of What If planned as well. So there's, it is. I think they hinged a lot on Loki, like Ricky said, for sure. And it just felt like that did a lot of heavy lifting so that we can just enjoy a lot of things. Like, what if? Sure, he broke the seal.
It would be a real baller move from Marvel would be if we get to the point where season 2 of Loki is about to drop, and then they just pull all of Loki and What If off of Disney Plus and just pretend it never happened and tell us that we're on a branch of the multiverse. That would be hot. That would be hot fire.
It does Mandela affect us?
Exactly.
They scrub the internet completely.
Yes, sir.
Man, that would be amazing. I'd probably kill myself because that was too much.
Do you guys remember a comic book called What The?
Yes.
You remember that?
I do not.
Yeah.
Was it like a What If spinoff?
No, it was like a self-parodying comic book. Like, it has like the Spider-Ham of 2099, or they do a bunch of weird things. They had like a Wolverine with like claws that had sporks and like a corkscrew.
It's kind of like the Mad magazine of What If.
Yeah,
is what it is. Yeah, that's the best. Cool.
Kind of Bazooka Joe ass.
I realized that didn't hit with Ricky because he has no idea what Mad magazine is.
I'm familiar with it.
Alfred E. Newman all day, baby.
Yeah.
I've been to yeah.
I was gonna say, what do you say we talk about What If? You want to
do it?
What the or What If?
Just What If.
All right.
Look at that. That's our new record, right? I think 39 minutes we got in here.
I was panicking there for a second because the thumbnail for that video is just the shield. Peggy's shield. It's like,
it's a I could see how that would mess you up, but it wasn't that. I faked you out. All right, guys, it's time. Everybody's waited long enough. It's time for us to talk about What If episode 2 from season 1. This episode, it's pretty interesting because I feel the title pretty much describes everything you need to know. So, it's a what if T'Challa became a Star-Lord. So, if you haven't watched the show yet, I think that title just spoils it enough. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, from there on, like everything else that happens just kind of logically makes sense because it's like, yeah, we're just like, hey, what if Yondu goes and picks up T'Challa instead of Peter Quill, and then fast forward 20 years and see what all the different things that have changed because a young prince of Wakanda who was already raised to be a noble leader and everything, like, you know, got to be the Robin Hood of the galaxy, and it's a pretty cool thing. Like, I don't know, what do you guys, what I'm curious, first, what was your take just in general? Coke, how did you?
Can I ask a question real quick though?
Yeah, I had a question.
Yeah.
Like, so you predicted everything that happened, Dennis, in the story?
No, I said it was a wild ride. I'm saying everything.
What did you say about the title? You said the title.
I said it spoils everything.
So the title told you everything, but that was going to happen in the show.
Yeah, I did, Frank.
It did. Okay, cool.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
No, that's what I was actually going to ask you. What was the title of the first episode?
The first episode was, what if what if Captain Carter were the first Avenger?
Okay, gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah. You know, I got. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go for it, Rick.
How is Captain America the first Avenger? Like, isn't
no, we're not
Marvel
doing that right now. So, Coker, tell us about what if episode 2. We can answer Ricky's dumb question later today.
Well, you just looking for the overall impressions?
Yeah, why don't you give me the overall impressions first, and then and then we'll go around and talk about that episode.
I have thoroughly enjoyed it. Shout out to Chadwick, that was beautiful. But I think I enjoyed it more than the first episode because I kind of feel like the first episode stuck more to the story of the original. She did a lot of the stuff that Cap did, whereas in this one they switched up everything. You know, you saw a lot of familiar faces, but they were not in the same roles that they were previously. So they kind of took the whole universe and flipped it on its head, which made it feel a lot newer than the first episode. So yeah, overall I give it 2 thumbs up and a snap in a circle.
Oh man.
What about
Living Color with you?
What was that?
He's definitely I don't know. Ricky, have you watched In Living Color?
That's the one with Martin Lawrence, right?
All right. So Frank, what did you think about episode 2 of What If?
I thought it was fantastic. From beginning to end. I was in a good mood with it. Like I've always said that I'm not a big fan of Black Panther in the comics. But I thought Chadwick Boseman was the best Black Panther that we're likely to ever get, or I'm likely to see, so to see him in a role other than Black Panther was fantastic because I like the actor and I like him not being Black Panther. So it was an amazing episode from beginning to end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
Ricky.
I'm just thinking about a what if with Wesley Snipes as Black Panther.
Man.
That was almost a thing.
It was.
Right?
It was.
Yeah. I liked it. I liked a lot more. Yeah, he was. It wasn't Tarantino part of that.
Oh my God! No, don't put
soapbox.
Soapbox.
I enjoyed it more than the first one a lot. It was really cool to see Chadwick's play T'Challa in a new light, and just the fun ways that they flipped the MCU on its head. It was fun. It was a nice breath of fresh air for the MCU as a whole, versus where that first one was very, very contained.
Yeah, I would say so. Like Frank wanted to challenge what I was saying about it spoiling. So for me, like, I liked the episode as much as the one last week, and it's because I felt like they followed very similar beats. In that, I'm just showing you all my cards right now with my cool slides. I felt like the episode was like, take characters that you already liked, remix them and remix their stories, and see what kind of fun new results you get. And I felt like that was both episodes, and I have no problem with that. That doesn't upset me at all. It's just, to me, I like, Frank and I talked about that before. Like, he's not a giant Black Panther fan, so it was fun to see a great actor like Chadwick Boseman play, a character that was more likable for Frank. But I will say that I think the remix on this is cooler because there's a giant time jump, right, of 20 years. Whereas, like Coker was saying, the first episode was, okay, we're in 1942. We have to solve the problems of 1942. And then there is a time jump, but it's kind of like a to be continued time jump, right, at the very end of the story. Yeah. Whereas this one, the time jump happens at the beginning, similar to the way it does with Peter Quill, but we don't really like.
I don't think the time jump should be like considered like such a. You consider it to be really, really like I don't know. You hold it in high regard, but I don't think it's that great.
I am conflicted on time jump.
I do hold it in high regard, and I don't know why I'm not allowed to, because of this. Because of Thanos, because it takes a character that we have known as like one of the greatest villains in the MCU, and with a quick joke, a quick explanation at that, like after the time jump, they say, "Oh yeah, we're cool. This guy's cool. He's our friend."
Because Thanos isn't evil though. Like Thanos isn't like a force of nature. Thanos is a rational, crazy person who has a vision.
Mm-hmm.
He wants genocide, and he's explained it. He still seems to kind of want it.
Oh, he definitely wants it for sure. It's
efficient.
Yeah, sure.
Where the time jump loses me, like the Thanos stuff, I think they really did a really good job of like, establishing why he, hey, he had a better argument, changed my mind. The whole inner Guardians bubble that this episode lives in, and the changes that were made to it, that totally makes sense to me in universe. But like, there was just stuff with like the collector's vault specifically, like when you start seeing these other things and items, it's like, what the fuck happened in this time jump? Like, I want to see, all of that side, the bigger picture of that,
But I think that's why the time jump I hold in such high regard, because it makes you ask those questions that you don't ask when the time jump happens when Peter gets abducted by Yondu, and then 20 years later you just follow the story, right?
You like that's the questions. You just want to see it more because of.
No, but you don't have the same questions to ask because you don't know the characters. Do you know what I'm saying? When you see a Thanos or you see a Korath doing things different than what we saw them before, that's what makes the episode fun, right? And that's what makes the different story fun. When you see all the things in the collector's display, you recognize them because you know where they're supposed to be in the other universe. And so you're asking questions that you didn't have the chance to ask in Guardians, right?
Yeah, but that's really biased because you already know the things that you're seeing. The stuff that you see in Guardians, like Adam Warlock's cocoon or something of that nature, like you kind of want to wonder about it too. And
like, remember when we saw the Infinity Gauntlet in Odin's War Room, right?
Well, I don't know if it's biased if like we're like in this time around, everyone watching is supposed to know. Whereas the first time around, a small group of people are supposed to know. You know what I mean?
You read the title and you already saw that the Mjolnir and Captain America's shield were going to be in T-Var's case.
No, let it go, Frank. Let that part go. I was just trying to get.
You already knew it was coming.
I was trying to get to the fun conversation. Now you want to make it combative. I had fun watching the show, but I think the title is very. It's very succinct. It's very awesome about like explaining what's going to happen in the show. Yes, are there details that aren't in the title? Yes, of course. I can't believe I have to spend this much time explaining that to you right now.
It sounds like we're shifting in like dislikes right now.
I don't know. Are we? I didn't dislike anything. I didn't dislike anything about this episode.
Same.
Like I figure like,
but
when you can do a certain amount of sit-ups like T-Var, like then you're worthy of picking up that hammer. Like,
I think Ricky has dislikes, and I'm welcome. I welcome them. I'll entertain them because I hope they're better than his dislikes last week.
I think Frank and I agree with like the Mjolnir and the Hela's crown. Like, it opens up a bigger story.
He's speaking for you, Frank. He's speaking for you.
Am I right, Frank? It opens up a bigger story that.
Yeah, like
you want to know how he got him. Yeah,
how did he be Hela?
You know, well, and maybe he didn't. Maybe he got him from like a sale or something. But still, someone beat Hela.
Well, okay. So just to be clear,
he bought it at the same store Hela bought it at.
I will ask a question. That is for Ricky.
Sure.
Do you believe that Hela can die?
Yeah.
So could he have not just found this after she was dead?
Okay, sure.
Do you think that she died at the end of Thor Ragnarok?
No.
Based on what you were shown, what reason do you have to believe that she lived?
I think she was a force of nature. And
have you been doing your own research? Have you been like reading stuff on the internet?
Where are we going with this though? Like,
what I'm saying is like, she's a force of nature, sure, but she's also Asgardian, right? And the movies have shown that Asgardians can die, right? Mm-hmm. Like we've seen multiple Asgardians die. So I don't
believe like Ragnarok happened earlier. Is that what like?
Well,
yeah. I mean,
does it? I mean, everything else is different, right? So like, why can't it?
She was locked away at this time. This what if takes place in 2008.
Unless she wasn't, because of other circumstances.
Like, what in T'Challa's universe that's different made a change all the way in Asgard.
T'Challa got a lot done, and he created a huge power vacuum by taking Thanos off the board. Like he did.
Well, he did. No, he did.
They even said that. They literally said that.
And also, there's a hammer up there too, and Thor shouldn't be dead by that time.
I'm telling you, he went to the same bargain bin store that.
I'm saying the Eye of Agamotto's there too, Ricky. Captain America's shield's there. It's all 2008. So
to me, the weirdest one is Cap's shield because that should have been an ice in 2008.
Like if we're really going down this whole like Thanos, who knows what the stones are, because he had to be convinced not to enact that plan.
As a reminder. The time stone is
right Wouldn't there. Thanos like, hey,
the time stone is right there.
Two stones in close location. Like, that's obviously a jump and a leap, but
I don't think Thanos is. I don't think the collector's business is Thanos's business anymore. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I get it. I think it's fun. And
it's a fun argument.
That's the whole point of the show is that they're showing you all these things that they want nerds to go and debate on, but I'm saying like I don't know why we're getting hung up on any of them specifically. Coke, did you think it was fun that Cap shield was on the rack?
I mean, it was definitely kind of an eyebrow raiser. Wait, how did all this stuff end up there? I mean, I think they just left it up to you to sort of figure that out because obviously the collector has kind of the same role. He's a collector, but he's got a hell of a lot more power than he had before. So I think they kind of left it up to you to speculate. How did all this crap end up here? And that's a really fun series of rabbit holes to go down.
Yeah. No, for sure. It leads to conversation like this, which we can debate it all we want. We can come up with wild ass ideas, I
think one of my big questions is, did T'Chaka send out the Dora Milaje in a spaceship in their traditional Dora Milaje garb? Like, give them a spacesuit, give them a helmet at least, like a Dora Milaje helmet.
Yeah, see, I wasn't sure if that's what happened or if the collector just knows what the Dora Milaje wear, and he wanted to make the ship look accurate. But again, these are all just fun, like if you got like a Model T, you'd want to like put like some mannequins in it that are dressed up appropriately. You know what I
That's
mean?
a good
Like,
point. Or maybe because of the movie Mannequin, maybe it was like the 1987 film Mannequin, where the Dora Milaje, when you're away from them, they turn into the Dora Milaje. They got
but
cursed.
if Collector goes and kisses them, then they wake up
and then they wake up. Yeah.
No idea.
That's a wild pull, Frank. Respect.
I know.
Respect.
The only one little hang up I have, and it's minor, and I don't know how I would fix it. The one thing I liked in the Peggy Carter episode a lot was in the intro, the Watcher kind of leading you into the episode, and he does that, and that was the moment, where the universe goes awry. This one didn't really have that because it starts out with like, well, Yondu sent someone else to go do that work. I would have liked a more specific lead-in, I guess. But in terms of the story that they told, I don't know how else you would do it.
Yeah, so I think that actually hits on something that I was really a fan of, is that, so, we had our fun nerd debate about what things should be there or what shouldn't be there and stuff like that. But the reality is like, I think, we've talked about this before, and Coke, you were in the comments last week on our show, so we talked about it, which is that this show, there's been a lot to suggest that even though it doesn't look like it right now, there is going to be a convergence happening, right? So right now it looks like an anthology, but at some point down the line, there's going to be some event that brings some of these characters together. And what I'm thinking is happening right now is I think they're trying to train the audience to think a little bit more on their own so that they can do things faster, right? So like the first one was like to put it the way Frank always likes to refer to Marvel, is it was very handholdy, right? The first one held your hand through the entire story so that you made sure you understand, okay, wait, that's different because of this, right?
That's why it was so familiar.
Yeah, and even the Watcher handheld you, right? And he said, look right here. This is the moment where it changes, right?
And then he's all, did you see it?
Did you see it? Did you see it, guys? But you're right, Ricky. The second one, he doesn't do that. But he lets you see it for yourself. And then he does the time jump in the story, the flashback, back to when he was a kid. So you get to see the moment where it actually happened. And then it comes back to the 20 years later. And now it's on the audience to fill in the blanks, right? Like we didn't have to fill it. We didn't have to fill in a lot of blanks last week at all, right? They did it for us at every step. So this time around, we're doing it and we're having fun and we're arguing like that shouldn't be there, that should be there, whatever. But I think the next progression is, okay, we're gonna do this again, but now we're gonna let you guys fill in way more blanks, or we're going to do something way crazier. You know what I mean? I think that's where this is going. And so they're stepping through things. So yeah, it's true. Yeah, they do force the audience to think more. And I think they want to do that so that by the time we get to Spider-Man, you're just like, you guys get this, right? We don't need to
hold your hand.
We don't need to tell you this anymore. Like this is,
And I think the fourth episode is really going to explain what's going on or whatever.
Yeah.
It's going to be like the kind of nexus point, I think, to the larger Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Were you guys impressed with the voice talent they were able to bring in?
Oh, yes.
Or the amount of cast that they were able to get in?
There's two things. I only have two complaints about that.
I have some complaints. Let's go.
I have two. One, don't put them at the beginning of the episode. It's super distracting. Like I don't want to see the names at the beginning because, like, you know what I mean? I kind of want to be surprised. I actually like, waiting. I pause it at the end to look at the credits just to see that massive list of everybody that they pulled in. So it like hurts me when I see Josh Brolin at the beginning. You know what I mean? Like,
you
didn't see Batista's name up there.
Yeah, Seth Green. Well, sure. And then that's my other gripe is like it like every time we do this every week, it's gonna be one of those things where it's like, damn, so close, so close. Why couldn't you get these ones? Like, so no Chris Pratt, no Batista. I know, the Fred Tatasciore played Drax and
Corvus Glaive,
and so they didn't get the guy who plays Corvus Glaive either.
I mean, not a big loss though.
No.
Yeah.
But,
Ricky, which bad guy was Corvus Glaive?
The pointy ear guy.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Side note: Fred Tatasciore actually did one of the voices in a PS3 game I worked on. He did some of the voices in Pain way back in the day.
Yeah,
he's still working.
No, that guy works, dude.
He puts in mad work.
Yeah, he plays the Hulk in most Marvel cartoons. He plays the Juggernaut in most Marvel cartoons. He plays most big characters or big, monstrous type.
I want to hear his Juggernaut bitch.
He's like, it's the Juggernaut bitch.
Him. Nebula is probably the only one that took me out in terms of voice because they didn't do her voice effect. Like she has like a little reverb in the movies.
Ricky, she's not as mechanical as she was.
That's part of the story.
What? I thought she was. So that's why she hates Thanos in the beginning.
She doesn't hate him. She just kind of mildly dislikes him.
She mildly dislikes him. She even has dinner with him, like at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Or at the show, at the end of the show.
She hates on him like he's her dad. She doesn't hate on him like the guy who freaking tortured her. I can't believe you missed
like that nuance that you just described is actually one of my favorite things.
I thought it was implied that he still tortured her.
No, he did not. Right. She only has one cybernetic implant, and it's the eye that the Collector put on her. We talked about this the other day. That's why I'm confused that you're even saying this. Like I was saying, that was one of the coolest things
on that one. But
I was like literally saying this to you, Ricky. That's
literally he grabbed your head and he told you.
But no, I'm glad that you picked that up because I thought that was one of the coolest things about it. Is like.
That shit's too expensive. We need to find a way not to do it.
So full disclosure. Well, one, I don't think that's too expensive in the Marvel universe. But full disclosure, I find Nebula incredibly hot in general. I don't know why. I thought for a long time, is it because she's blue? Is it because she's bald?
There goes our Hasbro sponsor.
Is it the voice? I don't know, but like I see Karen Gillan in anything else, and I like her. She's cool, but I find her hottest when she's Nebula. I don't know why. It's something weird about me. I grew up liking James T. Kirk and all of his fun adventures. Who knows? But
how'd you feel about unmodified Nebula?
I still found her hot, and now I'm more confused because she was animated too. She wasn't even really there. So I guess I just like her voice, right? Like I think
you have a Smurf fetish because that was definitely sexy Smurfette.
She was.
That's redundant, hair. By the way, Coker. That's
my bad.
Saying the same thing.
My bad.
Yeah,
I thought it was finish.
Oh no, but that was my point. Is like I noticed immediately that she didn't have the modulated voice, and it's like, oh, this is cool. This is a Nebula that never got tortured by her dad because the whole reason she gets tortured is because he pits her against Gamora all the time. And every time she loses against Gamora, he takes a piece of her and replaces it, right?
Yeah.
So there's no Gamora as an adopted daughter because Thanos didn't do his conquest. Because at some point a long time ago in history, T'Challa convinced Thanos that there was a better way to do things or a different way to do things. I'm not going to say better.
I thought that was a really, really cool aspect to the episode also because, when you look at it from the Peter Quill being abducted as a kid aspect, he was just a regular old kid from where, Missouri? Is that where he's from? I think
Missouri or Mississippi, one of the two.
One of those
one of those M states. Missouri. And he's just a regular kid, and he's taken and he does Peter Quill Star-Lord stuff. But T'Challa he's noble. He's from a noble family. He's been raised to have manners, to have certain expectations of the way he treats people. He has a certain view of the world that a regular kid would not. And then when you fast forward into his adult life, you see that the way he has impacted the world and the people around him is the way that somebody from a regal background would. I thought that was really cool little aspect of the episode.
And how Jaimin Hansu reacts to him, right? It's like he actually sees him as the royalty that befits the name.
I met the zoo once.
Nice.
That kept making me think of the scene from Coming to America when the janitor sees the prince.
Yeah, totally.
That was
absolutely. That is a good call. Like that is. Yeah.
Another little touch I liked was, if you ever been on the Guardians ride at Disneyland or California Adventure, there was a lot of little things that are in the collector's vault in that ride that they specifically showed in this episode and somewhat of prominence. It's like,
that's cool.
Tying it all back together.
Yeah, I read that I read that there is a Groot in one of the background cells. It's not sure if it's the Groot or because
where the Groot became enslaved.
The indefinite article Groot.
Yeah, exactly.
The collector's pretty nice though. He gave Howard the Duck a cocktail in his little cell. So
Howard the Duck always has cocktails in like every time we see him, dude. Like
presumably he has like a full bar in his cell, I guess, or at least even in the collector's area. Like there was a full bar that looked similar. At least the server was similar to the one in Ragnarok, where Valkyrie was getting her drinks. That robot looks just like the robot that was in the collector's area. So
okay, I'm curious though, Frank. What was your favorite surprise in this episode?
My favorite surprise was Kurt Russell as Ego. They got Kurt Russell for like 2 lines, and I was all like, "Oh, so is Ego going to be showing up a little bit later? Are we going to have like a little bit more of Ego going on?" Because like Collector, he seems to heavily, or not Collector, sorry,
Watcher.
The Watcher seems to heavily insinuate that something more is going to happen with this story, and I get that impression more with this episode than the last episode.
Well, what I thought was funny about the Ego appearance in this one is Watcher basically said, "Yeah, so this universe is screwed." He pretty much says that because Peter is not equipped to fight his dad, right? And so he's going to use his dad's going to use Peter exactly the way he planned to help take over the entire universe. So what I got from that also is what you're saying is, I think if there's anything to be salvaged from this universe, the Watcher's going to go and pick something out of it and say, "I've got to save you before."
It's like, T'Challa, your home's fucked. Come with me.
Let's go.
Now, I don't know if this ruins it for you, for any of you, but it has been confirmed that Chadwick Boseman, this was not his final performance.
Yeah.
He actually has 3 more episodes in this show.
Yeah, but that doesn't change anything for me. I think it's great.
Yeah,
I read that he's playing T'Challa, but not necessarily the same Star-Lord one.
I read he's playing T'Challa Star-Lord, but not necessarily the same version of that.
Oh, so a different T'Challa Star-Lord from
it's hard to, like, the way it's written is kind of confusing, but they said he is playing T'Challa Star-Lord 3 more times.
Okay.
But they said different versions. I don't know. We'll see. So,
Interesting.
Who knows?
We'll find out in 7 weeks.
Yes, seriously. But I'm excited for that because like it does fit what you guys are saying, is that at some point the Watcher's going to stop watching because that's what he does. He gets like,
bored and he wants to watch.
He's like in the comics, Coker, the Watcher is freaking the worst at his job. His one job is just watch.
I'm sworn not to interfere. I swear.
Never participate.
So he's got a prime directive that he
does have a prime directive, and he inevitably fails to do that all the time, and yet they don't fire the guy. I don't get it. Like I don't.
Oh, you're saying he interferes? He does interfere eventually?
All the time.
All the time.
Oh, okay.
All the damn time. That's what makes Uatu the Watcher that all Marvel fans know, because there's actually a lot of Watchers. They all supposedly look the same and everything, but the one we always follow in the comics is Uatu, because he's the one watching the Marvel universe, and he's also the one that's like, "Oh, this is so cool! I can't help but like interfere." Like I don't want my toys to get destroyed. That's pretty much how he is. He's just
Sounds a little bit like parenting sometimes.
yeah, kind of. That's kind of what he is. Yeah. Well, Coke, I don't know if you mentioned, but what was your biggest surprise? Your favorite surprise in this one?
I don't think there was one. There were a lot of them. I mean, Thanos being a semi-reasonable non-psycho, but still clinging to his, the idea wasn't really that bad. It was a surprise, but it was also freaking hilarious. Even at the end when he was talking to one of the warriors in Wakanda, she's like, "That sounds a lot like genocide." Yep.
Yeah,
that was a
quick. It's not because it's random.
Yeah, that was fascinating to me. But a whole lot of it was just surprises. Drax the bartender instead of Drax the destroyer. It was just
because
all of those
Thanos
things
never killed his family.
Exactly. It was all those things that they flipped on their heads. Those were the wonderful surprises for me.
Can we loop it back around though? So
Please
like,
sure.
How long was T'Challa Star-Lord in this universe?
20 years.
Well, I mean, he wasn't Star-Lord for 20 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was a Ravager for 20 years.
Yes, he was a Ravager.
He was going out on space adventures and influencing people or influencing the timeline because it's different because he's there.
We're assuming he met the age prerequisite to be a Ravager because they have a rule where they can't kidnap kids, right?
Yeah.
So presumably you can't be a kid and join. So he has
to
where I'm
going
hit a certain age.
Well, Yondu broke the rules when he kidnapped Peter and kept him too. So
he broke the rules when he kidnapped T'Challa also.
No, I said two. Yeah.
Would it be safe to assume that he's been Star-Lord for, let's say, 10 years, right?
No, you're not.
More or less.
Maybe less.
I'm not going to do this. Is it safe to assume anything?
I want to follow you down this rabbit hole.
Okay. So go down your rabbit hole.
He's Star-Lord for about 10 years. At that point, hasn't Thanos already got Gamora?
See, there you go.
Right?
You had to do it
because he got her when she was a kid.
That's what I'm saying. But why do you assume that he has to be Star-Lord to influence Thanos?
We don't know when he talked to him. He could have just been like
the point is he's a super smart kid. So as long as T'Challa met Thanos before he kidnapped Gamora, then that's it. That's it. Right. The entire universe changes because of that.
In the Reginald Hudlin Black Panther series, they state that T'Challa's smarter than Reed Richards, better fighter than Cap, and damn, I forget what the third one is because I don't like that series. But the point is he's smarter than Reed Richards.
That's fair.
So that means he could probably come up with his own things.
I'll say they ain't Reed Richards in the universe.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Is Shuri smarter than him? Is his sister smarter than he is?
I don't know if his sister's smarter than him.
That's a good point.
I think Shuri's smarter than T'Challa. At certain things, you know what I mean?
That's
why I would accept it if they straight out said it. But I mean, being smart is kind of a nebulous thing.
That's true.
Is Rocket technically smarter than Tony?
Rocket's technically smarter than most of the Marvel universe because
but I mean, is Forge technically smarter because he can build stuff still? But I mean,
Forge doesn't know how he does it. That's what's weird about Forge. But Rocket, there's I felt like I was
master builder.
I was very much robbed of the moment that I was really hoping for in Infinity War and Endgame, which is I wanted to see Tony Stark completely humbled by Rocket Raccoon because that happens in the comics and it's amazing. You know what I mean? Because in the comics, the Guardians, every superhero story has the Bluetooth or whatever in the ear, right? Where they can talk to each other. So they can coordinate their team mission and everything like that. But there's a story in the comics where somehow Iron Man's in space and he teams up with the Guardians. They help him out and then they take him back home to Earth because he's kind of stranded out there. And they're like, we kind of like you. So they give him one of their phones and he's like, what's this? And it's it's a intergalactic phone, and it's Tony's blown away by the concept of being able to call somebody across the universe. And to Rocket, it's the stupidest, most simple device ever. And there's so much of that happens. But so yes, there's lots of characters that are smarter, but don't seem smarter, so yeah.
I kind of got the impression when they were building the gauntlet together that
Yeah, but I wanted him to be humbled by Rocket. But that's my tangent. But like,
you're also into shame too. You want to see people like brought low and shamed into things.
I do.
You know what,
dumbass? You don't know what a gauntlet is.
I don't want to rabbit hole here too much, but I'm curious because you guys know the comics and the characters way better than I do. So Stark is obviously an egomaniac, but he also happens to be super smart. What about Rocket? I mean, he comes up. He's kind of a butthole. He's kind of harsh. But is he like a jerk? Is he an egomaniac like Tony is, or is he just a super smart dude who's a bit gruff?
I think Rocket puts up the same walls in the comics that he does in the movies. You know, where he you got to remember that like Rocket actually is legitimately a raccoon.
Yeah,
he is a raccoon that was experimented on.
I feel like Rocket's always annoyed about being the smartest person in the room. You know, like he doesn't like to be held back by the normies.
I think he has good technical skills. How about that? But I don't think he's necessarily the smartest person when it comes to, you know, thinking about like everything that factors into, you know, life or death situations and how sacrifice needs to play into, you know, there's a lot of complexities that Rocket kind of misses on certain things, but he knows how to build gadgets better than any of those.
He's also not really a tactician. Like Gamora could probably put her pieces on the board and decide who can go where and who can do what. Whereas Rocket would just know how to build stuff. You know, he brings.
I guess what I'm getting at though is when Tony Stark walks into the room, he's probably thinking, "Yeah, I'm the smartest dude in the room. I'm always the smartest dude in the room." Is Rocket that kind of personality, or is he a little more humble and kind of less self-absorbed?
I don't think Rocket's concerned about who's the smartest person in the room.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways, Rocket thinks Groot is smarter than him too.
He is Groot.
Yeah, or wiser at least. Groot is wiser. Is
he
wiser.
Does defer to Groot.
Interesting.
He does
he
defer
definitely
to Groot a lot.
More humble.
Yeah,
I can appreciate that.
But
and it would be. I like what you're saying, Dennis, because I like the idea of somebody who's a bit more humble than Stark, humbling Stark, who needs it.
Yes. But I think the point of the tangent was that we were talking about intelligence and their ability to influence others and stuff. And I think to Ricky's point back, you know, to the question was, I think an 8-year-old T'Challa could do a lot to change a Thanos's mind. You know what I mean? Like, I don't doubt that at all. Like, just because an 8-year-old T'Challa is way better emotionally equipped than a Peter Quill.
Also consider too that he met up with like a 8-year-old or around 8-year-old Gamora, and he had a conversation with her. So he's not above like wanting to talk to 8-year-olds. He's not above getting.
I mean, in this universe, he never met a child. He never met a Gamora.
Presumably.
Yeah, I mean, but the point is that Thanos has demonstrated the capacity to listen to a child, right? Like he actually like gets down on his knee and talks to her and everything, right? Like it's so. I mean, Thanos is a cool dude, and so I really like that this episode got to highlight that while somehow making genocide a funny thing, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
If I got to say anything like about like why I don't love this episode more than the previous episode, like I like it as much. I think it's because this episode cheats, because it took like the things that like have blown people's minds in the MCU, like, and just come out of left field, right? Like it took Guardians of the Galaxy and fused it with Black Panther, and then gave you a healthy dose of friendly Thanos.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's really cheating, man. You know, like
can I add another cheaty point to that list too?
Yeah.
It subtly puts in like themes from Black Panther, the music from Black Panther and Guardians into the mix, and Thanos' theme, and it does all that stuff. So like, even if you don't know it consciously, like you can still hear it.
Yeah.
With the music, it's awesome.
It's like it was engineered to
tug on your heartstrings,
to just love it, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that the part where the heartstrings tugged a bit much was knowing that Chadwick Boseman is signed on for 4 episodes. I did not like the tonal shift in the music at the end. I liked having the tribute, but I didn't like the somber music at the end. I was like, this episode did not justify somber. You know what I mean? Like, I thought when I started watching the episode that I was going to cry at some point.
Same.
And then within the first minute, Jaimin Hansu as Korath just completely made me laugh my ass off because he's like, no, this is the comedy version of the comedy that you already liked. You know what I mean? Like,
but I was telling Dennis, though, I've seen Scrubs, and I knew not to let my guard down because I know that Scrubs can take a 180 immediately at the last 2 minutes of the show.
But it didn't, though. You know, like this one didn't. And but that music at the end was like, what are you doing with this music? It's so weird. I don't know.
It didn't for me, but like, so Sarah was watching it. I guess she fell asleep the first time she watched it. She was like super tired.
30 minutes.
She was tired. So I was watching her watch it, and when it got to that part, she's all, "That was a really good episode." And then it's all like the tribute thing came up, and she's all like, "Oh my god, no!" She's all, "Just breathe," kind of thing. And I'm all like, "Yeah, see." So I guess it affects people in different ways. Like,
yeah, for sure. I mean, Ricky and Coker, how did it affect you guys when you saw the in memoriam?
Always touching. I thought they were gonna throw up the purple crawl like they did, like it is on Black Panther now and the Disney Plus. But, yeah, I mean, it's just like, I mean, it's been almost over a year, right? Last November was the year.
No, he died last September.
Last September, we're coming up on a year. Mm-hmm. But it's a sad.
No, sorry, he died at the end of August.
And it's it's nice to know that he still has some work left in the MCU that we can enjoy. So
yeah, it wasn't the gut punch that I expected. It was nice. It was very cool. Kind of what I expected. It didn't punch me in the feels the way I thought it might. If they had shown.
In the happy though, right? It punched you in the happies though, right?
Oh yeah. It was delightful. Knowing that he was a part of it was great already. But then, seeing their tribute was kind of like, yeah, I expected them to do that, and it was nice. What would have pushed me over the edge and really messed me up is if they had any, pictures of him when they were recording that they showed or something like that. Would have just messed me up really bad.
I think that would have,
yeah.
Some of the interviews coming out from the writers this week, I think one of them mentioned that he was giving a excellent performance during his recording sessions, and I mean, it became evidently clear why, after his passing. But you almost get the impression that he knew his life's journey, while he was still alive, or how his situation was going to progress.
Well, that's like everything that he did in the last 3 years, right?
And he just put his heart and soul into what
he had the secret that he wasn't telling anybody, man. And so, like, it makes you go back and watch those things and be like, dude, he wanted every performance he did to mean something, and that's powerful, man. Now you're gonna make me cry.
But also, he wasn't like. He didn't write it like other celebrities might be like, oh, I have cancer, and they might try to try to use that to
milk it.
To milk it, to pivot it into people watching or get views or whatever. And like he played it close to the chest. We didn't even know. Like, it was such a surprise when he passed. Like, my buddy texted me, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. No, it was like a triple combo for me, because it was him, then my grandma, and then Ruth Bader Ginsburg, all within weeks of each other. And I was like, okay, can people just stop? Can people stop dying right now? Like, please, like, that's
real.
That would be great. But no, but I thought it was a great celebration. Frank and I were talking about how he's not a big fan of the Black Panther, and but he loves what Chadwick did with this. And I was like, for me, I thought this was just another example of showing how beautifully that actor can play, nobility, and play a strong leader and play somebody that inspires people to be good. And I thought it was really cool that they found a way to do that in a comedy story, right? Like the comedy beats hit hard throughout the whole episode, but you still the entire time it's running, you're just like, damn, that's so cool that he would. I mean, you got it even from Michael Rooker, right? Even that Yondu was a way better Yondu, with the exception of the lie. But the lie happens, you know.
But the lie was the whole basis of the relationship.
But it didn't change the fact that he affected Yondu, and that's a similar story to the Yondu with Peter, right? Is that it didn't change the fact that Yondu still loved the kid that he kidnapped, as a son, whether or not he was lying to him. But I just felt like this Yondu was like, whoa, they're gonna take the orb and go and like help a dying planet with it. Yondu just wanted to fence the thing, you know what I mean? Like in the other movie. So it's really fun to see that.
Yondu wanted to give it to Tivar, right?
No, he wanted to sell it, right? He was going to sell it to the dude where they
met. That was Quill.
Tannelir Tavan, I think. Yeah, I think he wanted to sell it to him. Yeah, something like that.
That's what Yondu wanted, but
yeah.
Still fence.
Yeah, but Ricky, did you answer? Wait, maybe you didn't. Did you answer the biggest surprise?
No, but
the helmet.
I mean, that was one of my dislikes. But
that was a question I was gonna have, but like I don't know. I feel like I have a question which was, what hurt your brain the most? I think we know Ricky's. I'm curious what Frank's and Coker's are.
Assuming that he got Hela's helmet off of Hela's dead body, how did he learn to do that little flourish thing with it? Or is that just what you do when you put on the helmet? Like
it's just like when you have the Infinity Gauntlet, you just know how to put everybody back safely so that they don't cause more airplane accidents and stuff.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. I'm good then.
Some items, they're only magic because it's just science we don't understand.
Oh my god, I hate that so much.
Buff collector.
I'm glad that we can finally, with all the things that are going on with Marvel embracing like the weird and like What If and Loki, that we could finally put that shit behind us. That whole thing about magic
is science, so we don't understand
the magic and the science and the not understanding. Because now we could just be like, hey, this is some weird magic. Cool, sweet.
Yeah, that's fair. But Coke and Frank, I asked you guys what hurt your brain the most.
Go ahead, Frank.
Let me see. What did hurt my brain the most? Nothing really. Like I enjoyed it all, and we were talking about mental gymnastics earlier, like the gymnastics, like the filling in the gaps that the writers kind of left. And while that did hurt my brain, I don't consider that a negative thing because I thought it was a fun little experiment. I liked hearing your take on how he might have collected certain things, how the collector might have collected certain things, or fill in the gaps of how T'Challa, like just in this conversation, how T'Challa might have talked to Thanos. Mm-hmm. So like I enjoy things like that. And I think that stuff does hurt my brain, but in a good way, in a positive way.
Yeah, that's cool.
It wasn't so much brain hurting as much as it was just wondering. One thing I thought about was what was the fate of the Black Panther while T'Challa was away, because his dad got old, and there was certainly a Black Panther.
You're a girl. You can't.
Maybe it was M'Baku of the Jabari tribe,
or maybe Shuri got the super soldier serum.
Maybe
it could have been Shuri. That's another possibility, though. No,
that one just tripped me out. But one again, not so much brain hurting, but just kind of poop my pants moments was when Collector snapped Yondu's arrow. He just caught that bad boy and snap. I went, oh,
that was pretty painful.
Trouble going down.
That was painful to watch because that toy is awesome, right? Like that toy has been the source of so much enjoyment.
Yeah, that was so
Yeah.
cool, and I know that was kind of his
Yeah.
baby, even though it's a murderous tool. But
Yeah.
that was a wild one. That caught
That
me
thing
off
is
guard.
responsible for some of the best like action scenes in the MCU.
Hell yeah.
And just to watch it just get crushed was like, no, that was so that hurt me. That hurt me in a good way. I think the way it was supposed to hurt, like
Exactly.
you were
They
supposed
played
to
it
feel
well.
Yeah.
What's on the what if docket for next week? Have they announced?
So it doesn't have a title on there, but it seems
thank God, because that would spoil it for Dennis.
It would. But the description is what if Loki comes to Earth and uses diplomacy and convinces them that he's the god of the king of Asgard. And so he comes and tricks Earth into, I don't know. I think basically he's going to try a different approach than full on attacking
Assaults.
Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's going to come and lie is basically what he's going to do. So
where does it take place in like Thor 1 or Thor 2 or Avengers?
It looks like a combination of Thor and Avengers. I've seen from the thumbnails and stuff, there is an Iron Man in it. And there's, I think, a Black Widow in it. Probably not ScarJo. Maybe it is. Who knows?
my pie in the sky for this whole series is I would want them to throw in like a Yelena or shit, even a Shang-Chi, something new, something new that Shang-Chi and Black Widow were definitely in the cards while this was.
Yeah, here I have one counter to that. I do have a counter to that, and it's not that I don't like your idea. Mm-hmm. It's that did you know that Brie Larson's scene in Endgame was
filmed before?
Yeah. Or was it Endgame? No. It might have been. Yeah, it was Endgame and Infinity War. Both scenes were filmed before she actually filmed the Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah.
And so because of that, there's a real disconnect between the character you see in her own movie, because as she was filming the movie, she got to understand the character more. And, so she had kind of honed in on it by the end. So she feels weird about the character that we saw in the other movies because. Yeah. So I feel like that, right? That right there.
Widow's definitely filming before What If was announced.
No, but you know.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Yeah, you don't have a feel for who they're playing yet.
If they haven't gone on the actor's journey of doing the movie itself, which is like the meat of their characters established, it would be weird. I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm not saying the actors don't have the ability to know what they're going to perform, but I'm just saying
Valentina would be great, I think.
Oh yeah,
she seems to have a handle on her character, or at least at that point. But she was supposed to be a widow also.
Yeah. The other way to look at it is what if the first season of What If is all like phase 1 stories, and then season 2 is phase 2 stories, and then season 3 is phase 3 story. You know what I mean?
Well, so that was a phase 2 story, anyways, right?
Was Guardians
phase 2 and Black Panthers 3?
Yeah, you're right. All right, never mind.
Oh yeah, Black Panther. Yeah,
that got thrown out pretty fast.
Whatever. Ricky's been paying attention. I like that.
He did. He did his own research. He did it. Well, I think we got to wrap this one up. I think we had a quiet audience in there that was just either having fun just listening to us and not asking questions.
Marvel shut down our Shang-Chi stream. So
now we definitely had an audience there, but they're really quiet, and that's okay. We still had fun with the questions that we did get early on, and I still enjoyed talking about the show. I still have some fun facts. I don't know, like, did you guys know that the German dubbing Howard the Duck is voiced by Santiago Ziesmer, and he is actually the same actor who provided his voice for Howard the Duck in 1986.
Oh, stop! That's amazing.
Isn't that cool?
That's great.
I tried to be better about how fun.
Pulled out a Rolodex, like, shit, who is German? And
I guess we could call him up.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Same number.
We are gonna end the show and switch over to the soapbox, but I do think there's one last thing that I need to mention before we go.
Soda's last comment.
Oh, yeah, no, she said, "Dang, I asked a lot of questions earlier." LOL. And I said, thank you. I said, thanks for all the questions we got at the beginning of the show, for sure. You're always appreciated. Everybody who tunes in is appreciated. But before we go, I did have one last thing that I loved about this episode. There was a tiny little Easter egg. The Milano was renamed the Mandela. And I thought that was so cool because, like, it just goes to show priorities, right? Like, where Peter Quill names his ship after freaking Alyssa Milano from Who's the Boss. And T'Challa just has different priorities, man.
You got to think if you're a T'Challa or a Peter Quill. When I played No Man's Sky, my ship was called the Kelly Bundy. So I think we know that I'm a Peter Quill.
Yeah, I think most of us are Peter Quill, and I think
does that mean like does that imply that Wakanda knew about like Nelson Mandela and like wasn't he locked up for like a long time?
Not at that time. Like
that the whole world knew about him.
No,
even though he was locked up.
Yeah,
right?
In 1988, he was still a world leader in South Africa.
Okay, I'll say, wouldn't they bust him out? Like
that would be an interesting story. That's
that's
the opposite.
Of What If. That's the opposite. That's the whole point, right? Is the Wakandan civil
we Wakandan, see you're doing good work, but
the Wakandans specifically stayed out of world affairs until the movie, right? So that's kind of their whole thing. But a really nice touch. There are tons of little Easter eggs in the show, but yes, we can talk a little bit more about those in the soapbox. I do want to thank Jason Koch for showing up one more time to talk to us all about all the nerdy things and all the tangents and talking about Rocket Raccoon and Groots and all those things. Thank you so much. If you have any place that you want to let people know where they can find you, like if you want people to find you, let us know.
I'm not active at all, but I'm on Twitter at Bomangani, BOMANGANI. Little backstory there. I have no idea why, but when my brother and I were kids, we would have sworn later in life that Bomangani was a term from an old Tarzan TV series that we used to watch. And so I just got attached to that word and I used it as a name for a bunch of my characters and stuff. And it just became my Twitter handle. So at Bomangani, that's me.
Awesome. And then Frank, Ricky, you got anything you want to let people know about?
No, but I want to let Coke know that I've always been curious about what Bomangani was, and I didn't want to ask because I didn't want it to be like a heartfelt story, and I just
all good
or something.
No, it's just a bad Tarzan, a Mandela effect Tarzan memory.
That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah. Well, you can find me and and the rest of these guys here every Friday on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. You can also follow us on all of the other social media outlets like Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and at DenX Media everywhere we go. And of course, you can also check us out at patreon.com/DenX Media, where we do extra content. I do toy photography stuff, and we do the soapbox where it's an after show for this one. But I think that's everything. I want to thank the audience for tuning in. I want to thank our patrons for supporting us. And Frank, what can everybody do?
They could smash that like button the way Tivar Tanalier smashed up T'Challa and the way he smashed up that arrow. Ring that bell, subscribe, give us money.
Hasbro, send us Galactuses.
Yeah, we swear we will take care of the Nebula toys. We're not going to give it to Dennis because we know what Dennis will do with them.
And Anthony Mackie, thanks for watching.
And thanks, Anthony.
Shout out to my man.
Yeah. All right. I think that's all we got for tonight. Thanks for watching Dead Excelsior. True believers, enough said.